on today's Expert Process Podcast. Do you know that it takes 10,000 hours to master any subject? Welcome to the Expert Process Podcast, where we cut the time to mastery in half with our seasoned pros. And now, from Atlanta, Georgia, broadcasting worldwide. Here's your resident expert, Durante Smith.
And it moved from the Wadsworth Theater, and it grew and went to Pasadena. Okay. Actually, there's a newer event that happens in the same place that we had ours, Lightbox, which is in November every year. It's kind of a CTN type, for artists, for animation artists. Okay. And so we had it in Pasadena, and then we grew out of Pasadena and we moved to the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. And that was nice. That was really fun. This event, the Kids Screen event, was kind of modeled after our IBCTA, which was the International Business Conference of Television Animation, which was a 2-day event within the festival. It was a competing festival. It was a movie event for 2 days. It was the schools talking to the studios, and the studios talking to the schools, and the students coming in and doing portfolio reviews, and the artists. And it was big. Okay. And so
was that like the AFI, sort of like the AFI then?
It was just like ANSI. It was just like it was a festival. It was a marketplace. It was a convention with tables, people selling stuff, selling tables, desks, chairs, light boxes.
I've never been to ANSI, so that's
okay.
Thing. Yeah.
So ANSI is a big festival that has a component that's a market where people come and sell their animation or plan to make new co-productions.
Got it.
And so it was kind of visionary because we had a lot of things that Terry thought of, and at the time, Terry was now working at Klasky Csupo, producing The Simpsons for the first 5 seasons, and then eventually as CEO overseeing the Rugrats, Wild Thornberrys, As Told by Ginger, all of those. And he knew Gabor Csupo, who created the Rugrats, because he distributed Gabor's shorts.
Oh, that
originally
was
with the Tornes.
Wow.
So anyway,
so it panned out, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they knew who he was, and they needed a CEO.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The business guy, because Terry's the business guy, not the creator. Yeah. And so moved on, through 10 years he did that. And in the meantime, while he was doing that, I was running the magazine.
Right. You were running the show also, right? Every 2 years?
Yeah, until 2001.
Okay.
And then we got a divorce in 2003. I could no longer afford to write the big checks to the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel to put on that event. Kids Screen kind of took off with it in New York because it was easier for Europeans to get to New York.
Sure.
And I went, this is one of the stories you probably want me to tell. I met a guy at the American Film Market because synchronicity, you meet the right people, right? And he said, I know some guys down in Watsalawn that would love to, put on an event. They're building a convention center. They'll give you money. You don't have to worry about sponsorship. It's going to be great.
Good story.
Yeah. So come on down to Mazatlan, So
sorry, guys.
My boyfriend and I, who's an attorney, we went down to Mazatlan and we started preparing and planning for this big event. It was a festival. It was going to be just like we did in LA. And
wait, Mazatlan is Mexico.
Mazatlan, Mexico.
Yes.
And it happens to be in a state that's named for a very famous cartel, which is the state of Sinaloa. Right. And I didn't quite realize that the beer guy, the meat guy, the hotel guy, the tequila guy, and the mayor of Mazatlan were all involved with that organization until it came time to sign this rather large contract for the next 5 years. And so I won't go into the depth of the story, but it was kind of escape.
I want to live.
Yeah, it was called Escape from Mexico. And I came back and I was kind of disheartened because we just wasted 2 years of our brand,
Gosh.
And Kids Screen was totally taking off in New York, So we were sad about that. And I was sad about that. And so I sat down right after I got home.
But wait, how did you find out? So, okay, I don't know if you can say that part, but you're still like, you didn't know that these guys.
Hopefully, these people are not going to be watching this.
Well, that's why. Right. Well, you'll still not get too deep into it.
No. So these guys were really cute and fun and had nice families and everything. And my friend grew up with them, and he So they were all in their little Tommy Bahama shirts. We'd go fishing. My boyfriend likes to fish, and they were just adorable, and we loved every one of them, and they were friendly, and so, but then when we got to the governor's office and we were signing the contract, all of a sudden they were in their Armani suits.
Right.
They had some guys standing behind them that looked a little menacing and were carrying things that I won't get into.
Right.
And they had picked us up at the airport in a car that was fortified with a lot of the same materials.
Right.
And so it became very apparent that
they were dangerous guys.
Who they were.
Right.
Still the nice guys that we knew, but they had some other interests.
Muscle.
Yeah. And so I said to my friend, are these guys all? And my friend said, but of course, they're the only ones that can get anything done down here.
Right.
They have all the money, they have all the influence, It's like, oh my God, Roberto, that was kind of important to tell me. So anyway. And
this is how business is done, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I dodged a bullet because, not a physical bullet, but I dodged a bullet because the next year there was a big pandemic in that area, and there were travel warnings out.
Oh, wow.
And also a few people in the town and tourists were getting shot.
Oh,
and
wow.
So it wouldn't have been a great time to launch something.
No.
And I told everybody involved that you have to do it well the first year,
yes, you do.
For people to come back,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
It'll be a flop.
Enough with that.
Mm-hmm.
And we came back to LA and we started 11 years ago. We started the summit, which was the World Animation Summit that we do now.
Okay.
And the World Animation Summit was me thinking about the fact that when people come into town, they always call me and they say, can you hook me up with so-and-so? Mm-hmm. And it's usually these very high level heads of studios and things like that. No, honestly, I cannot do that, but I can put on an event, and Animation Magazine has always been about networking and pulling people together and introducing people, and whether it's online through our many, daily email newsletter, or whether it's through the magazine, or whether it's at events. Mm. And so I said, so I can put on an event where you come. I will provide panels that you learn things like continuing education for studio owners that you didn't know. And I will introduce you to people that you didn't know you should know.
Right.
And the long and the short of it was, people came, they loved it. It was intimate, wonderful. I mean, one year we had Glenn Keane and Kobe Bryant sitting at the yacht club.
Wow.
And Kobe was so sweet. This is right before he passed away.
Oh.
And he and Glenn, you know who Glenn Keane is? Yeah. So Glenn Keane and Kobe did Dear Basketball. It's the poem that that Kobe wrote. Right? Yeah, it's animated. Oh, yes. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Hand drawn by Glenn Keane, who's a famous Disney animator. And then Kobe's poem is just lovely. And there wasn't a dry eye in the house. And there were probably only like 150 people. It? Yeah, we screened it.
Oh, wow.
And then they had a panel.
Wow.
And
right
after the panel,
Oh my
and after the panel, a few months, but after the panel, Kobe hung out and everybody got to talk to him. And that's the way this event is. You get to hang out with people you would never expect. People were like blown away that there's Kobe Bryant and Glenn Keane, who's iconic in animation, just like Kobe is iconic in basketball. And so that's what we try to pull together. And I remember saying to the PR person, Kobe's PR person, I said, so we're in the yacht club, how's he going to get there? Because he lived in Orange County at the time. And she said, oh, well, he'll fly his helicopter.
There you go.
And I said, okay, but so you need a helicopter pad? Because the yacht club was right next door to the fire department.
Okay.
And they had a helicopter pad, but they wouldn't let us use it. But we were also right next to the Marriott Hotel in Marina Del Rey that has a big helicopter pad on top of the roof, so he flew in there. And she said to me, he never drives. He always takes his helicopter. Like, okay, we've never had anybody show up in a helicopter before.
But LA traffic, I understand why. I mean, if you got the money,
if you can do it, Unfortunately, that's how he died. But so anyway, long story short, the event has become a really popular event for people from all over the world who want to come into LA. It's right up against the American film market, so it's convenient to people that produce movies and then want to, and they come.
It's in November.
It's in November from the 5th and the 9th this year, and they come and they hang out at this very chill, turn-of-the-century, mid-century modern hotel that's pretty well known in North Hollywood. It's right near all the studios. Easy for all the studio people to come over for a little bit and hang out. And it's like me, kind of chill.
It's fun,
So,
okay, going. It's this